Carolina.
Rachel Lee is the spokesperson for Vote for Marriage North Carolina. Jen Jones is the communications director for the Coalition to Protect All North Carolina Families. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Craig.
Good morning. Rachel, I'm going to start with you. Your organization supports the amendment. North Carolina already has a statutory ban on gay marriage. Why is this constitutional amendment needed?
Well, Craig, it's important because our current law, which is a great law, currently defines marriage between a man and a woman, but that law is vulnerable to the whims of activists who want to come into our state and tell us what marriage is. So this constitutional amendment will preserve marriage between a man and a woman to preempt any action on the court or by the state legislature to impose same-sex marriage in North Carolina against the will of the people of this state.
Have there been actions by judges so far in North Carolina, Rachel?
There has, actually, yes. In Guilford County, which is right near us here in Raleigh, there has been a lawsuit filed challenging our state's right to license marriage. And so the threat to marriage is very real in this state. And the people of North Carolina need to join together today and preserve marriage from such activism. We've been waiting for this opportunity for nearly a decade now. And the people of this state are excited and enthusiastic to come together tonight.
Jen, how real is that threat?
Marriage.
Jen, how real is that threat in North Carolina?
Well, pardon my French, but many of our legal experts think there's a snowball's chance that any quote-unquote activist judge would overturn our current laws banning same-sex marriage in North Carolina. I've lived in North Carolina all my life. I'm also a licensed attorney, and our Supreme Court judges here in North Carolina are some of the most conservative in the country. They won't be coming out to activate against gays and lesbians in the state. They will be, as it will be for 150 years in this state, a statute banning same-sex marriage, and reaffirmed again 15 years ago. So there are actually two state statutes banning same-sex marriage, and for us, this isn't about marriage. It's about protections being threatened for all unmarried couples in the state as a result of an overreaching amendment that we're voting on here today and hopefully voting against.
The country's attitudes on gay marriage seem to be changing as well. In a Wall Street Journal poll just 3 years ago, 41% said that they supported gay marriage, 49% were opposed to it. Now it's reversed. 49% say they're in favor, 40% opposed. Among African Americans specifically, the biggest jump from 32% to 50%. Does this amendment that's being proposed there in North Carolina, does it go against the changing tide in this country, Jen?
I mean, obviously, public opinion has shifted considerably. Even in the past year, we saw in polling in North Carolina 10-point increases in support for same-sex marriage and also civil unions in the state. But this isn't just about relationship recognitions. This amendment has very broad and vague language that not only eliminates civil unions and domestic partnerships in the state, but in doing so threatens health care for children throughout North Carolina, threatens domestic violence protections for unmarried couples all across the state, and also has unintended consequences for end-of-life directives, hospital visitation, and many things unmarried couples enjoy.
Rachel, this, like many amendments, is probably going to come down to who shows up. We understand that more than 500,000 ballots have been cast in early voting. What are you hearing on the ground there about voting so far?
Well, first of all, Craig, 30 other states have already preserved marriage in their state constitution. So North Carolina is really behind the times in preserving marriage. So we're thankful that we have that chance. And there is a lot of enthusiasm and excitement surrounding early voting and on our primary election day today, because we've been waiting for this opportunity to preserve marriage between one man and one woman in our state constitution. Our people in this state will not be swayed by the unintended consequence arguments that are being spewed by our opposition.
Ladies, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we are out of time. I do appreciate you guys sitting next to each other for the interview, though. Thank you so much for that. What do Rick Santorum